Hello and welcome back. We are here with the pre-game, in-game draft panel as SG Esports Unknown face off for a third time here in this stream today. We're in the grand finals of the SA Closed Qualifiers. First game managed to go to Unknown. Second game, SG brought it back. And now Unknown is back to their bread and butter. It seems like the Spectre DK was what worked. Why change? I always love thinking that when they have this conversation between games, like, why do we even pick something different? Why do we just do the same thing again? Like, what was this
Yeah.
crazy idea? The Medusa did get banned though, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Is this
I
the
suppose
first game
so.
again?
No, it's a variation
Uh,
because last time they had the Oracle. This time SG has the Oracle, and it is the same opening picks though otherwise.
Okay. Thank you.
that is
All right.
true. Huh.
I was having a deja vu
Interesting.
moment.
And A made it to the
It's
second
been a
phase
lot of
ban as
Dota
well.
too.
See what else. They removed Slark from the pool, which is a little bit surprising because Slark without mag would be a bit weird. Why not ban the mag and not the Slark? But
Yeah.
hey, they don't want the heroes in the pool. I get it. But with Oracle, much more counterplay. They still have flexibility with where the axe goes, carry or off lane. That's why it's such a safe opening for SG Esports. And yeah, Unknown has more gaps to fill. Their draft is a lot more straightforward in what it does.
Were you convinced by the Axe carry versus Spectre? Because it seemed like the tankies of the Spectre easily could deal with the Axe carry.
Yeah, I don't think that was the best example, just because Spectre was farther ahead than she was supposed to be, I would argue. So the timings didn't quite match up. I just felt like the pressure that Unknown was bringing at that point when Axe had Manta and Blink was just abnormally high. And I felt like Axe farmed a little slow due to the pressure that was on him from the laning stage. So, and yeah, SG's going to get basically as much greediness as they had last game with DP and Oracle, and they can still be really flexible with where their heroes go.
Is there any preference, Moxie, for SG? Is 4DR or Tabo, like, they profit a bit more here, or you think it's completely flex here?
I think that's the beauty of this draft is that they have so much flex potential that's leaving Unknown kind of like, what the heck are these lanes? And I think there's, a lot to be said about having just so open of a draft that you've confused your opponents completely. Because, like you said, Tabo could play the Death Prophet, he could play the Axe, you could move, Death Prophet to the mid lane, you could put Axe in the safe lane. That's, a hallmark of the S tier teams is that they're able to have this kind of flexibility. So I think I'm honestly not sure. I think when you've got a Nyx Assassin in the pool, I don't think you want the Death Prophet to be mid necessarily. I think you might want to go for something a little bit different. But
What is that?
now you kind of know what
Okay.
your mid matchup is, potentially. I'd assume that's going to be the Ember mid, and the Dragon Knight's going to be in the offlane, yes?
I would hope so.
I mean,
assume
it's
so.
SA. I've seen some weird stuff.
I mean, if I see an Ember offlane, then I've seen everything. I'd rather see Ember 4 than Ember offlane.
I was
Please,
thinking
no
more of the
Ember
4,
offlane.
not the offlane, but
Okay.
then you have
So
a Nyx
what's-
7.
What's interesting about this is that the Ember is basically fulfilling what the Kunkka did in the first game, in that it is an anti-mobility hero, basically. Like, slight chains against Mirana, excellent, right? Because then you can't leap afterwards if you catch him in time. Even slight chains against, like, Axe is pretty solid. Don't let him blink initiate. That can be a good way to start the fight. And I'd argue that even, like, catching Ember in a call is going to be scary and hard. Because, there's always those times where you jump in trying to catch Ember and he happens to use Slight then, or he sees it coming, uses Slight, or uses ulti. Makes it difficult to fully control them. Even like Death Prophet against Ember. Yeah, you could silence him sometimes, but a lot of the time he's going to always be able to disengage from you if he really wants to. So I feel like the Ember in this match has a lot of potential just to be obnoxious and always get to play his game and make it harder for SG to play there. So I kind of like it as a pick.
Okay. Does SG try to deal with this with a last pick that carries a more reliable stun, or do you just try to play against it as opposed to draft against it?
I mean, you could potentially beat it in lane or do some other workarounds. That's an option. Oracle counters it a little bit. You can like dispel it or reduce the some of the burst damage, but hard to say right now. Unknown needs a 5-position hero. They ban out a Lina.
I mean, you not flex the Nyx as a 5 as well? I mean, Alliance has done this a couple of times, and they pick up a 4 with a bit more potential.
I suppose so. Like, no matter what, next is going to be good, I guess.
Yeah. Squirrel's out of the pool, unfortunately, so we won't get to see that for Witch. Or Hoodwink, sorry.
Yeah, Shadow Demon would have been pretty good. Counteract the chain initiation that they're going for. Could tell us that SG's looking for another stunner type hero as their final pick. That could give them another way to like set up arrow or follow up for max call.
Okay, Winter
There
Wyvern, pretty
she
solid.
is. There she is. I was
That-
no. Okay, so first
that's
of all, we
exciting.
have not seen like any Winter Wyvern in this region, like hardly at all. And then the other thing that I was looking at is I was like, they like to protect Pakaz or Angel. They like to protect the Spectre, and they
No,
need
Pakaz,
some
yeah.
sort of save. They need some sort of save. They need something that's going to be able to, you know, babysit and do. And the Winter Wyvern fulfills those needs. You know, generally you would see like the Oracle. They also favor the Abaddon. Like these are the types of supports that we typically see supporting a Spectre like this. And right now, you know, the magic damage, they've got some of it. Obviously, they've got some nuke damage coming out from Oracle and the Marana Starstorm. You have to be careful with the axe as well, but I like this. I think this is necessary, and it also gives them team fight, which they were lacking. Although none of these guys are super great at, you know, being able to click each other down. So
Yep. The one downside to Wyvern is that your laning stage is a bit weak. Like your hero's ability to like right click and fight to the death is kind of crappy. But if there is engagements near creep waves, then you're fine. You have tons of spell nuke between Splinter Blast being low cooldown and Arctic Burn. So, but yeah, the heals are really the big thing, and it was the thing in the major as well. The Holy Locket on Wyvern, especially comboed with a hero like Spectre, is just bonkers good. If you ever go on Spectre and try to burst him and you drop the Cold Embrace, it's good luck. You're not going to get the kill unless you have a bunch of heals.
Yeah.
Or anti-heals, sorry.
That combo is pretty absurd. And you're right, Moxxi. The only team that's actually using the Winter Wyvern consistently was No Ping. And unfortunately, they didn't make it through too far. Well, not as far as I expected. And
I think a lot of
the
people
Winter Wyvern,
expected them to go a lot farther
yeah.
too.
And the Winter Wyvern stopped getting picked then. They're like, if no Ping's picking it, they're not here anymore. There must be a reason. Stop picking the Winter Wyvern. But I do agree the Spectre is incredibly good with that hero. We've been seeing this combo a lot in Eastern Europe, so I'm not very surprised. And with DK as well. Also, nice little combo. It gives more reason to me, though, to flex the DP as an offlaner, because Winter Wyvern does a bit better with these tanky offlaners. DP doesn't care whatsoever, as she just heals back up. So you might want to consider that with lane against Spectre too.
Yeah.
And there we go. Carry Axe, DP offlane, I'm assuming, and Invoker mid. I like this very much, actually. I think this is a much more suitable game for Carry Axe as well.
I mean, it gives them Sunstrike follow-ups, Cataclysm follow-ups from Disable, so their mid and late games can be a lot easier. Like, even just bursting like Ember or Wyvern or Nyx in those mid-game grabs will be solid. Yeah, lane matchup. Maybe goes Quas-Flex and just drains the crap out of Ember's mana. Makes his mid-game feel less impactful. Looks pretty good. Their aggression should be good. We've seen good Tornado with arrow combos in early mid-game as well. So if they can win the mid lane and transition and pressure the map, things should be good. Especially if Axe gets off to a good start.
I wanna point out that something I'm loving about SG is that whenever they get the server that is not Brazil, so usually Peru, or the server they want, they're gonna go for the carry axe, which to some degree feels like they're training with weights on here, because getting Berserker's Call with ping seems like considerably harder, but they're convinced. So you know, I like this strategy. True SA fashion. If it doesn't work, try it again. So, do you guys like the SG lineup this time? Would you go for the SG lineup? Would you favor them, Moxxi?
You know, last time I went against the facts, where, you know, like I said, typically SG tend to drop the first game, then they come back with a ferocious ferocity. So I'm going to stick to what I know, and I'm going to say SG, they're comfortable on this. We got a 40R Invoker. We've got, you know, Theola Core on his Marana. I feel like this game is going to go SG.
Purge?
I like the SG lineup as well. I feel like they're going to be... They basically agreed out of their offlaner again, so they're going to have a lot of tools, a lot of damage sources. They have counterplay, they have chain initiation. They have to worry about like Winter's Curse and stuff, but they don't exactly have like conventional right clickers either. So like Winter Wyvern's right click just doesn't feel that good. And while Ember Spirit has potential and has good tools, I'm not as sold on him as a hero at the moment. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they can make something work with it. But I just like SG's draft better.
And the more important question, of course, do you think it's going to be a fun draft?
Both these drafts are fun. So frankly, I don't care who wins.
Nice. Oh wow, look at that. No
wow,
bias here.
so much
Surprising.
fun that it doesn't matter who wins.
So we have game number 3 between SG Esports and Unknown. This game is going to be the tiebreaker a bit for them, as one team is going to have to get ahead. And SG Esports looking to get those 2 points, as Moxxi said, right after losing the first game. Will they be able to do that, or will Unknown be able to regain the lead they lost last game? We're going to see very shortly. And of course, this encounter is going to be casted by the ferocious duo of Moxxi and Purge.
We are indeed ferocious and we're full of fun, right, Purge?
Rawr, yes, so fun.
Excellent. Well, I think we are going to have fun this game. I think we've
Yeah.
got a lot of interesting things going on, especially coming out with the draft from SG, whereas we've got some more, familiar things coming out from the side of Unknown. RoboZ on probably one of his favorite and maybe best heroes with that Ember Spirit. Pakaz, of course, has been playing so much of the Spectre. And then, of course, you have Sacred, who's going to be playing that Dragon Knight, so...
Another cool thing about the Invoker pick that they're doing is that the obviously build this Qualifiers into Spirit Vessel. That gives them anti-healing, which is Spirit Vessel's really good against this game. It's great against Spectre. It's great against Dragon Knight. It's great against Winter Wyvern. Limit those heals. So rather than force Mirana to have to build it fast, they have a hero that tempos really well with it and will transition well for in the late game. So just so much makes sense about the SG's last pick here. But hey, if they misexecute or gank poorly or lose their lanes more than they should, it's the same situation as before. Their late game scaling is going to be a little bit weaker due to Spectre's power.
Absolutely. Be very important that Costabile is able to accelerate at a much more rapid pace, than game number 1. And hopefully the team will be able to follow him up, but otherwise, Unknown. They are very familiar with this. Otavo's going right up into the arms of, where's the Arctic Burn? This is not looking good for our friend here. So a couple hits, not going to be enough to get the kill. Theolacor making his own rotation here. He's going to trade a couple little hits here with Wish. Get some value clicks in at the very least. Will be the Impale coming out from Wish.
Some regen on both sides. This is more expensive for Nyx, arguably, because he has less regen, but they'll both get healed back up. Tava loses a teleport scroll, but takes a moment to buy himself an extra tango. He knows he's going to be bullied a lot here. He's like, hey, I got 2 free magic stick charges, suckers. Good luck ganking me now.
Yes. How will they ever recover from giving him those 2 stick charges? But already you can see they are just clicking down Tavo. They have so much slow with that Arctic Bird, and Theolacor has already gone for that arrow play early on to try to secure one of those creeps. So
I thought that was funny. It's like Tavo was getting beat up over there, and Theolacor's like, let me get that range creep really quick. I saw him throw it. I was like, that's the worst arrow I've ever seen. I saw it hit the range creep. And I was like, oh, okay. Just greedy as hell. Okay. Hey, they get their levels. That's all fine. Invoker double waving the Ember here under his own tower. Doing a great job. RoboZ's pretty low on HP here. And he's got decent last hits, but boy, that was a lot of regen harassment. He's just now walking out of salve, so this is going to hurt RoboZ here in the mid lane. Only a Fairy Fire, so now Invoker will get a bit of a last hit advantage. He's got a Tornado in 10 seconds. Maybe he can kill him, but probably not.
Definitely feels scary for RoboZ to go forward. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Wish taking a lot of damage here as well, sitting at 60-something hit points.
Part of that was the Mirana trading with him earlier. It makes it easier for Oracle to just spam him out. He just spams Fortune's End, uses Clarities and Mangoes, and lowers his HP enough where now he just doesn't get to do anything. He's going to secure a Water Rune because he's got to wait for his regen to come. So, yeah, the Mirana trades earlier. Very, very effective. Those Boots Rush heroes, that's one of their weaknesses. You do not want to fight to the death and they get a kill over in the jungle.
Because you know why? Like you said, Wish took so much damage from that Mirana early on, and then he had to wander towards that Water Rune, that they saw the opportunity and they were able to take advantage of it. Look at this, Angel sitting so low. If that Crypt Sword, oh, the Alucor, he wanted it! That is gonna force Shested to take his second level here in the Cold Embrace to keep Angel alive.
Yeah, not super surprising. You know, Spectre lanes, they love to have a healing support here, but
Not Theolicore
Nice.
getting the kill on the courier, but still a dead courier nonetheless.
Got a little zone there. No. Oh, that was actually so sacred stunned Axe, like all Dragonites do right before Axe gets the last hit on the range creep. But he spun while stunned, so he still got the last hit. That's what that tip's about. He's like, ah, sucker, you lost your mana for nothing. That's always
Feels
that
bad
good.
for Sacred, but feels good for Constabule for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that this start is incredibly different for the side of SG, especially when you consider that Constabule is sitting at the top of CS 18 and 10 right now. Chest's Courier, it begins. The Theolicore, Slayer of Couriers.
Oh my god, and look at this.
Sees himself another one.
The Ring of Health is being delivered for Axe right now, and he's 300 gold away from his Vanguard. They're just going to leave him in this lane if they really want. Like, he's actually got so much space right now. As soon as this Vanguard is done, literally nothing Dragonite can do to kill him. All he can... He happened again. He stuns Axe, and Axe gets a spin-off. So lucky.
Do get some vengeance, or revenge rather, for the couriers that Theolicore has slain. And Shasta did manage to take out Theolicore's own, but Wish taking up the water rune bottom will keep it away from the Invoker, who's still sitting pretty topped off here, so doesn't feel too bad, but it does feel bad, of course, for Robo Z if he wasn't able to snap it up.
Alright. Looks like Nyx is going to mess up the pull. Oh, he actually gets a partial pull here for the Oracle. That always great victory here. That should deny those creeps or at least keep Nyx busy. In fact, he just took a lot of damage from these envenomed weapons. He could die here. Has he got him?
Do they have it? Can he get the Purifying Flames? Oh,
he's
not
fast.
Really fast, though.
It's going to be close.
He got it.
The cast range on Purifying Flames is so high. And, man, look how much this is cascaded now, right? Like, gets zoned. They end up killing the Dragonite. Then he fights those gnolls for so long. He loses a huge amount of health. And the Oracle punishes it. Gives him a lot of damage and gets that follow-up disabled just barely. And gets a double stack off in the meantime. Mega efficiency here. And he doesn't even need to cover Axe. Axe has got Vanguard now. So maybe Oracle ganks mid. Maybe Oracle, I don't know, goes somewhere else. They can 2k advantage of 5 minutes. It's so big.
Tornado and the EMP coming out with the root to hold him in place. Robo Z, he uses the Fairy Fire, but it's too much damage. And now Widge over here in this middle lane does have to be careful. Looks like they're going to allow him to survive right now. But again, like we said, this is definitely looking a lot better for SG with this draft this time around, especially now that they've managed to really just empower Constabule.
It's looking good. Marana hunting for some couriers, but ultimately it's just Tavo getting solo experience here. He's almost level 6. Might be in trouble here, though. Nope, never mind.
That's fine. He's even going to drop the spray. Classic Tavo here. Harkens back to the Pain Gaming days of them spamming things constantly. Double damage rune is available top. King Jungles will pick it up.
Invoker's not worried at all here. He's got a lot of HP. Doesn't have a tornado, but he knows these guys don't have that much single target damage. Like, it's going to be a while until Ember feels like a threat in this laning stage here.
Ooh, he saw the courier Theolicore. He wants this poor Spectre can never get his items delivered. That was the chainmail, the broadsword, and the magic wand recipe. But this is the second time this has happened to him. Now they'll turn back around. Good Spike Carapace coming out from Wish. Will allow him to walk away, but the rotation is coming out now. Tavo, ticking down a little bit. Doesn't have those boots yet, so he's super slow. Does have the Oracle nearby, though, if necessary. So he'll drop a ward, try to get some vision going with the nuke. It's a lot of damage. Plus the Spirit Siphon coming out here from Tavo. They'll collect themselves a kill with a good rotation. Tavo, though, does have to be a little careful. That's a good disarm being placed over on Angel.
So cool to see KJ's transition, basically, from winning the lane to just getting things done. He's really excelled at this. He got that solo kill on the Nyx, then he ganks mid, then he comes top and gets another kill. Normally when 5s get zoned out of their lane because they don't need to be there, it's like they struggle to get things done. But Oracle, one of the highest nuking support, highest damage supports in the game for early nukes, and he's making it work. He's affecting the game really positively right now.
Yes, indeed, as they are putting lots of pressure here in top, forcing Wish to also stick around here. Splinter Blast lands over onto Tavo. Does get the boots delivered this time, though. Gonna use that Spirit Siphon. Theola, of course, starts giving the clicks over onto Chesed. Splinter Blast will connect. Wish also making this rotation here. They want to try to punish Tavo, but they're not feeling too confident as they do turn back around over onto Theola Core. And they manage to get the kill on Angel while all this is going on. The tips come out. Tavo says, nice try, bro. And here it is. Here's 4DR making his own rotation. He sees Wish. He's going to open up with that Tornado EMP. Wish pretty fast, though. He's going to be able to sidestep it. Mirana tossing out the arrow. Almost right on target here. As Wish just continues to try to make a little bit of space. They do have the cold snap on line here for 4DR if they decide to continue to follow. But looks like they've had enough. And they're just going to go right back to their respective lanes.
Angel really struggling here. He's getting pressured constantly. This Death Prophet, he's a little lower this time.
This is not looking good for Tavo this time. Arrow gets tossed out, does connect over onto Chesed, so they're not going to be able to apply that slow any further. So the Spirit Siphon is going to bring them right back around again. They could actually turn this back around over onto Angel and get themselves a kill. Theola might die for it. Does have a couple of those Swan charges. The Crypt Swarm, yes, they managed to take down Theola, but they'll take down Angel yet again and make another rotation here, as this time RoboZ has made his way top. How many deaths?
But it wasn't worth it. The second death on Spectre, but it feels way more impactful than that. He did get the first kill. He did kill Mirana before he died, but this time not farming is going to be really costly to him. Even picking that up, Tavo just putting so much pressure on his opponents. He's like mid heroes that are good at fighting that you play in the off lane. If you get away with it, you're pressuring the carry and accelerating your team. And in the meantime, SG's been getting stacks done for Axe. That's something Oracle's been doing. He dewarded the Ancient stack, and now Axe is just going to accelerate so rapidly. He's got like double the last hits of any hero in the game right now.
He's got his Yasha completed. He's got Boots, Vanguard, Yasha. Like, he's huge.
He's
at
really
9 minutes and 40-something seconds. Like, that's very scary, because this is a draft that absolutely has to play tempo. Sacred trying to put some pressure over here in this bottom lane, but Dragon Form did just expire. So, Theola, of course, is going to push it right back out again. Wish getting into position here, trying to land a stun over onto 4DR. Does manage to burn up some of the mana.
So I'm surprised Dragon has been able to take this tower yet. I haven't watched down here in a while because we've been busy with the top lane, but the fact that the tower is still alive despite people being gone for a while is a little surprising. Maybe Axe spent some time there before clearing his stacks, something like that, but it just feels like there's not very many play options on the map.
It's possible.
EMP does get dodged by the Ember Spirit at least, so he's a little bit happy about that, but Mirana for now is just going to try to protect that safe lane.
Wish does make his own rotation, can burn a little bit of her mana if he chooses, but Theola just to go right back, and there it is, there's the Dragon Form. We're going to be seeing a teleport down to the bottom lane as 4DR. Does have the Cold Snap, doesn't have EMP just yet.
Tower will be deniable with this. Oh, they messed it up.
Oh, the sorry from Theola. But over on the back lines, there is a courier that is killed, and now 4DR is going to open up. Does have that EMP. He's going to burn all the mana over onto Sacred. Lands the arrow over onto Widge, and they do have the Spirit Vessel completed, so this is looking very, very good, although the stun comes out of onto Kostabi. The Theola, he's not looking too good right now. He is going to indeed fall, but first they'll get the kill on Widge.
Very crucial that they were able to clean up the Nyx, because that's 2 more Spirit Vessel charges, but yeah, it took some doing there. Oh, Tavo spots Spectre, can he get him?
Oh, he's got the damage, the root into place. That's another death over on Angel. Chesed is trying to just flap those little wings away. There's a rotation, though, coming out. Oh, the tornado, though, connects over onto both of them. The nukes come out, though, get the kill on Chesed. RoboZ trying to just get them out of his jungle, out from behind the towers. He is not happy about this. But the side of SG will just saunter out casually. No cares in the world here right now.
Unfortunate there. They have the Observer Ward placed so deep in the jungle here, and it spotted them jungling. They must have seen that Spectre was kind of low. He didn't have perfect vision, but he ran it at a great time when with the silence was able to collect the Spectre kill. So yeah, Axe has a lot of farm this game, guys. Much more than the Spectre does, so it's like a complete flip of game 1, but it's more extreme. Just huge net worth advantages for SG Esports.
Here's what I was thinking too, right? Because we have a little bit of a run back here in terms of the first couple picks for both of the drafts. When we had the remake game, if you recall the other day, like 2 days ago. The first game went very poorly for SG, and then they got the chance to sort of pseudo replay the draft, right? Because they said you have to do a new draft, and it was slightly tinkered, but they had very similar heroes and ideas. So what I was wondering when I saw this draft come out, I was thinking, this is it. This is the SG from the other day where they realized, oh, hey, this is what we did wrong in game number 1. We're going to try to correct it. We're going to play it, a lot more aggressive or whatever the issue was. And it seems to be the case this time around. We've got a 7K net worth lead at 13 minutes in Purge.
Just so much has happened, basically. They got... I mean, the Nyx Assassin isn't even 6 yet. We're 13 minutes in.
Yeah.
The Cascade is insane. Oracle's level 8, for God's sake. Like, he's so far ahead where Nyx is. And Nyx is supposed to be the guy putting pressure on, but he just didn't do it in the laning stage. He got a little bit behind in levels. Looking up, they're doing it again.
Angel.
They're putting a ward down.
KJ waiting patiently here.
It's hard.
Smoke will end, but they'll block some camps along the way.
I think that did get spotted by Wyvern. He buys the sentry immediately. With that said, though, Angel's just he's gotta live with this.
He's gonna
That's
throw
all
out
he can
some
do.
fancy taunts. He's got a leap in case he needs it. He's gonna do a couple plays, but Robozy is here again, so they're gonna back off.
Fieldcore was trying to protect his camp from being blocked there by... He looks kind of dead to me.
Yeah, he's not looking too healthy, but you know what? When you can throw out a good route in place there, yeah, I don't think they've got the vision here. They even go and they use that ultimate to keep the Oldacor alive as 4DR and Costabile are here. It's going to go grab up Wish with the call, root into place. They've got plenty of damage. The dunk comes out, and that is a dead Wish. And I want to just say, look at Costabile right now. He has a full Manta. He is super close to that Blink Dagger. This is one big scary axe, and he's just running at Sacred now. A little bit off the mark here with that Tornado, but they're just pushing them so far away from the tower. And SG has to be careful. They're going a bit far. Shested, though, will fall as he gets clicked down. And it looks like Tavo's going to say, hey, guys, there's still a tower up. We should probably hit that.
He gets
Somebody
the
wants
D-ward
war. Look at him.
just trying to be the buffer between his opponents and the tier 1 tower. If he just prevents them from even approaching, they can't pull the creep wave. Tavo gets to do full damage, and what an easy tower for them. But everything's fallen into place. Wards get placed. That gives them intel that allows Invoker to get the solo kill on Wyvern. The Observer got dewarded, but hey, they made the play there. They got the tier 1 tower. Now they get to farm aggressively. With this big net worth advantage, it's so important that you play in the enemy side of the map, because you want to make sure that it's harder for them to be aggressive against you. And that way, if your opponents want to farm, they're in a dangerous place due to them being behind. Murana might fall here, though.
Yeah, I think they've got plenty of lockdown to take the Oldacor down this time. So a good use of Vendetta here coming out from Wish, manages to find a nice pickoff, but here is the issue that I'm seeing now, is the Blink Dagger has been completed now for Costabile. He forces out the Haunt, because he's actually too afraid, as they will rotate down to the bottom lane. They see King Jungle, so they'll get the stun off. Might be able to collect themselves a little bit of a kill, but they'll send over some of these illusions to try to do some damage and try to buy just a little bit of time. But King Jungle's, even though he's got some moves, cannot juke them, and he will fall.
Yeah, very fortunate there for Angel that when he haunts, he spots the support a little out of position. That was from him placing this Observer Ward a little earlier and hanging on that area, so not terrible for them. But SG says, all right, whatever, we got a loss there, but it's not the end of the world. And yeah, look, the Wyvern's just checking all the camps, making sure there's no wards there blocking. Wants to make sure his allies can still get the farm there as needed. But for now, Networth continues. BKB on the way for Death Prophet and about 1,000 gold. That'll make him very, very safe. There's the Midas for Invoker. That'll help his net worth catch up. He's done his job early game for sure.
We got a big smoke, though, here, Purge. This is going to be the Blink reveal on Costabile, and they've already prepped for this fight. They go, they drop a ward. They've got their eyes on this Invoker. Wait for it. The jump forward here. Trying to get the call, but he's not going to be able to quite get it off quite fast enough, but Robozy still will fall. Witch trying his best. Beautiful Witcher's Curse, though, over here on 4DR. This is actually a disaster. They'll end up losing the Invoker. Very nicely played by Shesed.
It looked almost so good. The Axe jumps in to do some counter initiation, but he gets caught by the Nyx stun as well. So made things a little bit sloppier. They weren't able to get the Ember quite as fast as they wanted, but ultimately a little trade there is nice if they get the map control back. Yeah, there's the sentry. He's going to spot the Nyx, I think, very briefly there. But hey, this is their jungle now. Maybe they can pressure the 2-2 tower. There is still a glyph,
They definitely see Wish. They pop the Manta over on Costabile here, too. So he's going to run right past. Get those chains up. They'll purge them off immediately. Robo Z over here. Kostabile looking for this opening. The Dragon Form comes out, though, and they'll be able to go and land the stun. Get a couple nice spins. A little bit more control coming out here from the side of Unknown, but they do have an Oracle who's going to be able to keep them safe.
Nicely done. So hard to fight through the Axe right now with all this tankiness, and doesn't even have the shard yet. He wants to buy, but he can't. It's too early. 18 minutes in.
Too efficient, Kostabile. What you doing there, bro?
Legitimately too rich. It's like, so what do? Start buying BKB, then go back and buy shard? Or do you just wait for 2 minutes, then buy shard? Hard to say, but a decent amount done. Dragonite ulti gets popped. Put some pressure on their opponents. In the meantime, Axe is just farming anyways with the illusions, so everything looking good for SG. Covering each other well. Is BKB up yet on Death Prophet? Very close. 200 gold to go.
Nothing to say.
All right. Well, all this is going on. Angel just still trying to find room here, trying to finish up his own Manta style. He does have the Blade Mail completed and the Treads. What's the best way for Unknown to approach this right now? Because obviously they don't want to fight Axe. Axe is just way too big for them to have to deal with. But how do they buy the space? How do they make room here?
I mean, don't get caught themselves is the most important thing. Spectre needs to stay alive. They need to get the right catches in the fights. Invoker is probably by far the highest impact guy to kill in the engagements. If you can find him with Dragonite and Spectre Manta style, which they just picked up, that'd be a great target. Nyx also can target him, but there's some counterplay in SG. They picked up Mech on Mirana, so it won't be super easy. And obviously there's Oracle too. So I guess that's what it's got to be, basically. Interrupt Oracle with a Winter's Curse or Ember Spirit or somebody separating the fight while you kill some important guy in the front. Death Prophet, Invoker, or
Tavo.
And don't let Axe kill anybody.
Look at the way that KJ is playing though here. It's gonna be the Haunt immediately. They'll jump over onto the Oracle, KJ. He's gonna get blown up before he can do anything other than get off the ultimate though, but he has 5 back. And because he got off that ultimate, he's gonna be able to keep Tabo alive as he uses his own BKB here.
Whoa.
Oh no, never mind. I thought he had enough there. Zip forward again over onto Theolacore. They'll hold him into place using those searing chains. This is not looking good for Theolacore. He's gonna get blown up. His chest though falls on the back lines. Find the kill again over on KJ. He bought back this ice wall, slowing them down quite a bit. 40R trying to buy just a little bit more space, a little bit more time. Does have the tornado available if they continue to chase. Blink forward here, coming out from Kostabile. He's not feeling super confident here that he wants to be there. Nice tornado coming out. They'll follow up with the Battle Hunger here. Can they do anything else? No, this is going to be a dead 40R. Just a really nice play coming out from Team Unknown. I thought with that ultimate off that, no, it's just Spectre had too much damage. My god.
Yeah, I thought maybe, but it was the problem was that Oracle got jumped instantly from Spectre. He had a hard decision to make, and he chose to throw the false promise, and he was not able to throw heal or anything. So no extra healing from him. And yet the Spirit Siphon did come out from Death Prophet, but I didn't see if Spectre used Blade Mail or not. But if you use Blade Mail, you're basically offsetting everything that the Spirit Siphon would heal. And I guess the heal would double, so it'd still be okay, but it would just be like 1 Spirit Siphon instead of 2. So it just wasn't quite enough heal. As BKB got popped a little bit late, so maybe took more damage than he needed. Yeah, just I was surprised too, but he was very jumped on by himself. So great fight for Unknown there. They get what they want.
All right, well, we have the shard online now for Kostabile, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for a smoke play, knowing that Haunt is down, and possibly pop the Moonlight Shadow. In fact, that's exactly the play here, as they are going to try to wander through. They'll drop a meatball in the mid lane, and Kostabile is going to land this charge here, lead the charge. Making his
No dust
way.
on Axe, though, so if he breaks, they're not going to be able to see this on.
Jump forward. Oh, he misses just a little bit on Sacred. He turns back around. He's got the dragon form. Nice tornado. BKB coming out from Tabo. He doesn't have that exorcism just yet, but he is going to be able to get the silence off. Winter's Curse gets placed down over on the side. The Theolacore jumping around, hopping up to the high ground, trying to buy himself just more time. Sunstrike. Nah, there's going to turn back around. They'll land the root into place as Kostabile grabs himself chested, looking to grab himself anything else that he can get here either. But the Blink Dagger now on cooldown.
Rana almost died. She had like 90 HP afterwards.
She had to hop all over the place.
Yeah, and that was false promise to keep her up. A lot of resources just to get that 1 kill, but hey, maybe they can get Roche out of this. Haunt is up in 20 seconds. Is that going to be enough time? Ooh, I don't know.
They're going to try to make their way over to the pit here. Moonlight Shadow does get used again. They know where the Spectre is. They have a ward over here, and they do know that there's got to be something here, but they do get the call off over onto Witch immediately. So they'll be able to blow up the Nyx Assassin. Tavo
got
joining
Essence
in
Ring
here
too.
with the Olacor. They'll throw it out. Another silence getting placed. The Slight's doing a decent amount of damage as they'll buy back now over on the Nyx Assassin. Stabile is going to need some help here as they do go for the Haunt. They're jumping onto KJ over onto the back lines. They'll take down the Olacor and they'll take down the Oracle. They'll lose Stabile now. And it's not looking good for 40R as he does get dusted. Chesed will fall on the back lines, but they'll be able to clean up the Invoker. Tavo here just stunned up from that Spike Carapace. He's trying to get off the damage. Does have the BKB this time.
So you want to
And he's just going to teleport out. He does not want to be here anymore. And there's so much damage. It's actually frightening that
It
they're
looked-
dropping out here from Unknown.
It looked pretty good for SG, but all of a sudden, like, everybody just, they didn't have enough heals. They didn't have enough sustain to keep everyone on SG alive. Like, imagine, I don't know, if they got a trusty shovel this game and all of a sudden someone's like, oh, I have 3 salts here, everybody heal back up. That didn't happen. Everyone got too low. The Haunt killed Mirana. He didn't even jump to it. Can they steal
They land
and
the arrow on
Magus?
Angel. I don't know if they can get in there, though. Yeah, look at this. Sacred jumping up, finds himself KJ. Wants to remove him, but there it is. There's the Aegis picked up now for Angel as KJ's running for his life. Sacred sitting too low, though. He gets nuked down by Tavo. Arrow gets tossed out again. It lands
Ooh,
over
nice.
on Wish. They can go back in if they like. They'll go. They'll use the whip. They'll turn back around. They use a really nice Spike Carapace, though. Buys him a bit of time using that Impale, but the nuke comes out from KJ. He's mad that they were going after him, and he'll get his revenge.
KJ's like, sorry guys, I have to take this kill. You're all stunned.
Oh, dear.
Very happy to pick that one up. He's been playing really good. His all of his moves, his Oracle, have been reading the fights extremely well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think-
just the damage stuff has been hard for them to weather the storm in these engagements so far. But
I think the only time we've really seen KJ in like a bad position is when they haunt in, usually, because it's right next to
Yeah.
him, obviously. There's not
I mean,
much
he
that an
could be in the
Oracle can do
fountain.
about that.
why isn't he in the fountain?
Because he's being a good team player and keeping his people alive.
Suppose so, yeah. Pressure in the tower though. Glyph is gone and no haunt for 40 seconds, so they feel confident.
And the
He will
BKB is
take
coming
the
out
tier
from
2 tower.
Stabile now, too. That's a big power spike.
Cool. Yeah, that is good. But with Aegis up on Spectre, not the best circumstances. But if they can kill other heroes in the fight, could be alright. Ags is on the way semi-soon for Ember. He needs like 2,000 or 1,500 gold, but when he finishes that, he's going to be flopping all around the fights. Haunt's going to come out, and he's just going to blow up Oracle every time. Oracle needs a lot of survivability. Doesn't have a Force Staff yet. Really needs it, but it's going to be a while until he gets it, unfortunately.
He's going to need a Force Staff. He's going to need an Aeon Disc. He's going to need a Glimmer Cape and pray that they don't have dust.
Ghost Scepter.
It's a hard knock life when you're an Oracle.
It is, and he had such a good early game too, but he's got Arcane Boots, he's got a Staff of Wizardry, and he's almost got the Force Staff, but unfortunately those mid-game fights just went a little bit too rough, and now Spectre's done a great job recovering. Just Unknown recognizing their opportunities to take fights, and they slowly worked their way back into this game. Now it's pretty close. Still net worth advantage.
That
But
does
like,
have a...
what, Ags? Ooh, Ags on DK. Good timing on that.
Yeah. Arrow tossed out. They realize
There.
that they picked it up.
But they'll get their free Scotty without the anti-regen, but
Right.
Scotty timing that's coming up on Spectre is a scary thing. Again, think about how it was last game against Death Prophet. It made Death Prophet feel a lot worse. Obviously, it's a melee Scotty, so a little different, but Spectre's getting in a pretty good position here.
He's gonna
Wrapping
walk up
around.
to tower. She feels powerful, of course, because she does have that Aegis. She knows her team is nearby. This arrow, though, scouting out a little bit, because they do ping it out. Got a nice sentry placed over on the side to keep tabs over on the Nyx, but they are gonna let this T1 fall.
Be hard to defend that one at this point in the game against the Aegis, so play it safe, you gotta wait. They're looking for a pick bottom in case somebody went down there for efficiency reasons. Could easily do a crawl into arrow to get a kill here, but nah, nobody's headed over, so they're just gonna hit creeps with their illusions instead while Known continues to control the map and compound their net worth a little bit. But SG's still farming well, still staying ahead. Great item pickup, Titan Sliver on Spectre, so good. Magic resistance, less stun duration, all that good stuff.
KJ is going to walk up over here on the high ground, immediately tries to negate some of this magic damage, but he is immediately just blown up as here Tavo's
Got
going to try
Basher.
to teleport out. Can he get the bash in time? No. will not be able to.
Look how close that sentry was to him, too. It's like an inch away. It's about to despawn, so you won't see it, but the sentry was really close. That was so dangerous. If he gets bashed there, he probably pops BKB and tries to run, but still dies or something. It would have been really bad. But just Oracle, and they got Haunt out of it. That was great for SG. See if they can get a grab. They're in vision.
Tossed out. Wish opening up the follow-up. The rest of Unknown is here, and they want to kill Costabile, and it seems like they're going to be able to do it. There was no Oracle there to save him that time.
It's a little greedy, standing under 2 Observer Wards, and yeah, they get the pick up. So now things are certainly changing. Game is pretty darn even, but Unknown's just done such a great job not getting picked off, despite the net worth advantage. As things have continued, that the big fight before the Roche was a little too rough for SG. And as the game goes on, just feels really hard for Oracle to be survivable enough to play his hero, to play his game. He needs to sit behind these cores when they get gone on, but every single fight, Unknown's going to target him first.
All right, well, the Ags now is completed for the Ember Spirit, and also a couple of these neutral items show up. The Mind Breaker is always nice. Of course, Spider Legs is a great pickup for being able to have better positioning in these fights. But Unknown continues to farm up. Still Axe sitting at the top of the net worth, but Spectre very closely behind here. Sitting just a couple hundred gold behind. And I'm starting to feel like SG's window is starting to close a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely feels like that a bit here. While Axe can function as a carry here. Ooh,
oh, he's just a little bit off the mark again here. Gets a couple nice spins, plus the silence. He'll follow up, but there it is. The Winter's Curse over onto Tavo. Luckily, not those super hard hitters coming out here, so they'll be able to go heal back up. They've got Guardian Grooves. There's going to be the jump forward, though, coming out from Roboz. He gets a couple of these slides up. BKBs will get popped. They're going to go in for the Exorcism, because they managed to go and get the call up over onto 2 Sacred, and Angel taking so much damage, and they're trying to just keep Angel alive using that heal, but they cannot do it.
Get him.
Angel will fall to the Calicor, sitting very, very low, but they'll take down 40, they'll take down KJ. A Sacred will fall, and Costabile also will not survive this. As you can see now, Tavo waiting patiently here. He wants to kill on Witch, but he knows he's not going to be able to get it because Roboz, he is alive. There are 3 heroes here. They have the stun. They have the control. That is a dead Death Prophet. The arrow falls through, hits an illusion. And the only one left alive on the side of SG is the Theolacor.
It looked pretty good for SG when they get that monster call on the Spectre and the Dragon Knight, and they were able to get those kills, but it just cost them a little bit too much in the engagement. Ultimately, Unknown, gets to initiate the way they want. They burn the False Promise just to save Axe, who Blink tried to stun, missed it, and didn't pop BKB in response, so his BKB was wasted. Oracle ulti got wasted. If they just executed a little bit better, they definitely could have won that fight with that monster call follow-up. But right now, Unknown's just playing better, without a doubt. Those like small reaction moments could completely change the fight if Axe calls Dragon Knight, and it goes the opposite way for chain stuns. But it doesn't happen. We haven't seen a call into Arrow, I feel like, much of the whole game. And that's one of the really core things that they need to make Mirana feel like a valuable hero here.
I mean, it's just so hard because they're lacking a lot of that lockdown, right? Especially when you consider that this Axe needs to be, he's a core. He can't put himself in these potentially really risky situations. You have Cold Snap, the mini stun coming out over on 40R. You've got a Root and the arrow. But like when you've got something like this Ember Spirit, it's so hard to use those particular spells to hold them in place.
It is really hard. And as the game continues, he just continues casting his spells. Searing Chains with Slight every 10 seconds or so for both. He's applying Maelstrom damage. He's got an Enchanted Quiver, so his damage is really not that bad. And as long as he doesn't get like Axe called into Arrowed, like Ember is going to be a huge feature of these fights.
This is looking scary too. Angel has almost completed the Abyssal Blade.
Yeah. Good luck, Oracle.
Yep.
That's where you really need the Aeon Disc, because good luck. You're going to have to react in time. I mean, you know that Spectre is going to jump on you, but it's really tough to do something that could go Scepter in time.
All right, well, They're leading the charge here. Constabile, he needs to land these calls. It's very important. There it is. He's finally going to be able to land it over onto Sacred. Immediately, though, the Haunt comes out, and you can tell they're trying to hunt for this Oracle over on the backlines. These spins are really nice, though. Is it going to be enough to take down Sacred? It's not looking to do enough as he just flies over the cliffside. One more hit should be able to do it, and eventually, yes, they'll take down the Dragon Knight. Angel now over on the low ground. They're going to try to go and jump on Wish here. There's some nice Winter's Curse coming out from Chesed. Buys just a little bit more time for Wish, but they should still be able to see him over here as they have the cold snap. No. Oh, the arrow. It's so close, but it just doesn't connect fully. As Robo Z is going to rejoin. They do have the Exorcism. They should be able to pressure the tier 2 here. They have to be aware of this Ember who's going to be able to slight back and forth, and they don't have super great lockdown.
That was cool. They managed to keep the Oracle alive in that fight. I don't know if it was because they were all smoked, and thus when the Haunt comes out, it's not immediately obvious where Oracle is. But they get the initiation first. Dragon Knight gets pressured and ultimately killed by Tavo on the back line. Spectre was like trying to kill or play with Invoker, but Invoker delays his BKB, then goes Invis, basically just wasting a lot of the time of Angel. So it worked out pretty nicely for them. They got 2 kills, no losses. There's Roche respawning just now. That second Roche, can they take it though? They don't have Exorcism for 70.
Oh, they do the scan too. They're just gonna beeline over there on the side of Unknown. They don't have the Haunt up. They don't have the Winter's Curse. Yolakor knows that there's somebody up there. It's Nyx Assassin making his way over. He is smoked up.
This is hard.
Got the vision. It's gonna be the jump in. Beautiful impale followed up now with RoboZ just slipping on through. Go. Wish. Not going to have any mana left for this fight as the Yolakor hopping around over on the back lines. You can see 40R wants to just get rid of the 6 Assassin. They'll be able to do it. They'll slow them down just a little bit over here using this Ice Wall. RoboZ is very far away from the rest of his team, but does have the Remnant up. Is going to get rooted into place. Buyback now from the Nyx Assassin. They don't want to give this up. He goes in for the call. He misses it again as they jump over onto Theolacor. There's going to be a nice Winter's Curse buying just, again, a little bit more time as the rest of the side of SG are trying to scatter away. KJ trying to stay alive. Does have those spider legs, but the Angel just zeroing in on him. Will get the kill. The buyback coming out right now is Sacred. Over on the other lines. He goes, he gets the dunk off. Theolacor also to fall. Tavo now needs to be careful. The slight pull, we're trying to find Constabile here. BKB comes out now from Tavo. Trying to just get a little bit more space. He just needs to crawl his way out. Another Haunt comes out. Angel, he wants Constabile. We get a couple of spins. Good save, though, coming out from KJ. As Angel going very far into the base. Turns his attention now over to 40R, but they have the Tornado. It's going to buy more time as they have that Exorcism. Tavo looking to possibly re-engage, but the rest of the team needs to go back, lick their wounds before they go back in again.
Perfect timing for Unknown to escape there after Exorcism gets popped, and they just ran down their opponents, but some good reactions by SG makes it difficult, and there's the vision.
They have the vision. There's the call finally, and they go and they buy a little bit more time for Witch again, using that heal, dunking right through it. Tavo, though, on the other end, this Blade Mail is doing some work, but it makes Angel scared enough to just back off. It's a 3-man root on the back end here coming out from this Oracle. Everybody wants this Roshan, but it is hard to get in that pit. They're going to heal up Constabile again. He's got a salve on him.
Cold Embrace is being a huge nuisance here. When they get somebody low, it takes a lot more to finish it, but Spectre's trying to cheese it out by himself here, and he can solo kill it really easy, but they know. Blink gets interrupted. Let's give Zax another moment.
The jump in from Constabile. He wants to find this opening here. Gets a couple of spins off, and it's going to go over to the Dart, but get the Winter's Curse. Where is it? Who gets it? It's going to be Angel who picks up that Aegis as Constabile swirling around. No mana left over here on Angel. He's just trying to finish off the Yolakor, but there it is. There's the save coming out again. Picks up the regen root. Slows down Angel. He's going to go pop a salve as well. They're going to turn back around. They have the call. They've got some of these spins. They've got the Alacrity. The BKB is coming out too. Does get the dunk off. It's going to be the first death now for the Spectre as RoboZ is trying to make some chaos over on the back lines. The Haunt comes out. This is an angry Spectre. Spectre wants to get in here. Can't find anyone though. Would love to finish off Constabile, but just doesn't have the vision. So that is, what is that, the 3rd Haunt in this one fight that we've had, Purge?
Cheese and Shard still in the pit. They go back in to claim what they want, and we'll see who they end up giving it to. Wyvern's going to want that. Everybody wants it, man. What a crazy fight, though. The game's still, like, dead even. That's what's insane. But there's SG doing a great job covering each other. Oracle's consistently saving supports and making things more difficult. And everybody on the Unknown side just feels like they get to play the game that they want to, more or less. They're going to get the Shard to DK, surprisingly. heard people say they think it's really bad. I think it's okay. People generally don't stand in the fire that long, but maybe SG's going to get a good grab here.
Oh, yeah, they go and they find themselves Widge, and they just blow him up completely. Theolacor now hunting. Does see Shested. Gonna get a couple of these clicks off. RoboZ also running away. They don't have the lockdown, though, so it looks like the only person to fall here is going to be the Nyx Assassin over on Team Unknown.
All right, let's see what they get item-wise. Timeless Relic, typically a great item, but yeah, they're going to pass it over to Invoker. Does a lot of spell amp, more disable duration will be nice. What else? A leveler on Axe, the standard Axe right-click item. Only attack speed, that's all that matters, guys, on this hero.
I'm a little surprised they got
good.
an Illusionist cape over on the side of Unknown. And I figured that, you know, that would be something that maybe Angel would like, but he's still... Oh, he's got the Penta. He's got the Penta, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see
Penta's
that one
quite
get
good.
picked up.
A lot of movement, or a little bit of movement speed reduction. 60 attack speed reduction is so much, actually. But anyways, Axe going to pick up an Illusionist cape. He's going to use that
got
to
an
push out
Illusionist
waves.
cape.
Yep, that one's it was pretty good. The raw damage as illusions do is weak, so increasing that part not very good. But being able to push out 2 lanes really easily is incredibly good. It's like guaranteed net worth. But in a team fight, he's probably going to want leveler instead. 5 armor, 60 attack speed, 50 attack speed. That's all pretty good stuff. They're just going to split push for now. Wait for an opportunity. Game continues. It's had like the same net worth advantage for so long, but it's a fun game.
It feels like a lot of who gets the jump on who, mostly.
Yeah. This game, absolutely. It's big. There's counterplay, obviously. Like, Winter Wyverns had some really good curses that interrupt SG's initiations. Obviously, Cold Embrace is a good way to counterplay this, but as a whole, initiation
It's fascinating because she hasn't gone for a Holy Locket at all, Purge. Is it just...
It's a little atypical, but went for 8th Villains instead. I'd say very justified, right? The Winter's Curses so far have been excellent. It allows her to be a little bit safer, sit farther back, catch people as they're out of position, going for a Blink Dagger as well. So his whole goal is basically just catch them, and that's fine because his team's always going to be the aggressor basically between Ember and Dragonite and Spectre. He can sit back and react, so he doesn't really need to worry about defensive items as much. Obviously, Holy Locket's great.
Ooh.
Cold Embrace is good too, though.
Smoke will break. Sacred. Jump forward immediately, though. They'll follow up with the Moonlight Shadow. You can see the Haunt coming out. Spectre was trying to get onto those back lines. RoboZ chasing after KJ. Just wants to just close the gap over here, but he's not going to be able to quite get his hands on him. He's very, very separated now from the rest of the team. Theolacor, though, taking a lot of damage. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to survive this, so they'll be able to take down the Mirana. Exorcism did get popped during all this. Tabale is cliffed. Oh dear, does have the BKB. He's gonna try to push himself down, but he is just out of the fight. But despite the fact he's out of the fight, they're still doing a decent amount of damage. A Sacred ticking very, very low, but 4DR. Also, he's gonna need to have that False Promise placed on him to keep him alive here. And he's gonna need some more heals as well, but the Spider Legs over on KJ will ensure he's able to go and just move himself into position. Tavo here with Costabile. They see Angel. He goes, he eats the cheese. They have to be careful though. RoboZ still alive, still kicking around over on this back end. He would love to get this kill on this Oracle. Look at him though. He's just running circles around him. Still alive, still surviving somehow. He's going to try to teleport out. He cannot do it. But he led them on one heck of a merry chase the entire time.
The amount of... It's mind-blowing how much time he's giving in himself and his team. Just with like the Spider Legs plays. Like, the Mirana ulti's also huge, right? Mirana ultis, it allows Oracle to run for his life, and it gives him a movement speed bonus when he goes invis. So this forces Spectre basically to have to carry dust or whatever else to try to get these kills, but it feels like he lives the whole fight, and that does not happen often on Oracles. It's buying them a lot of time. And the cliffing of Axe, I didn't see how it happened. It was probably him misblinking or something, but that obviously hurt him for a while, but he's able to get back down and get back into the engagement. So
imagine how differently that fight goes if Costabile is not cliffed.
Yeah, could have been very different for sure. The Shiva's helping out too. My anti-healing that it's providing, so another reason Holy Locket on Wyvern might have been a little bit weak, but I feel like Dragonite's been struggling a little bit. His KDA's fine, and he's sometimes getting catches, but I don't know, it just feels like he's getting cleaned up early on in the engagements. Maybe because Axe does all pure damage, so he's just not as survivable as he wants to be normally. Death Prophet is also an issue, just has overwhelming damage and does percentage-based damage, so it kind of cuts through him, but yeah.
think it's
Makes
just
the
so
long
hard
fights a
for
little bit
them.
harder for Unknown. Yeah.
It's so hard for SG to get their hands on RoboZ though. He has just been sliding around all these fights. He does have a gem now as well, so if they do try to smoke gank with Moonlight Shadow as well, he's going to be able to see them after it breaks. And he's got the Minotaur horn, so he's very survivable, which I think becomes a big part of the chaos and the confusion.
It definitely helps. I can't help but think that I wish he had more damage, though. I don't
What would
blame
you
him
have
for
liked
having
to
the
see
items he
on him?
has. I mean, he's going the normal items, and there's not really anything better. I guess, but I guess he wants Minotaur Horn. Does probably because of silence is my guess.
Yeah.
Because if he ever gets like silenced by Death Prophet, it feels really bad to BKB for that. But if it's Minotaur Horn, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna Minotaur Horn and save BKB for like when it really matters. But for that reason, I look at that neutral item, so I'm like, I just wish he had more damage because I feel like, yeah, he's not dying, but is he doing that much damage? Obviously, Slight Chains, very good, but Oracle's been doing such a good job, like consistently Fortune's Ending whoever gets caught with that. Or like he either Fortune's End to Ember Slight Changes, or he throws Fortune's End on Ember to remove Flame Guard or something like that. It's been really counteracting a lot of what Ember does. Ember's supposed to like control heroes in fights, but if he's not doing that, then I wish he has more. I wish that he had more damage, basically.
That's fair. KJ has been exceptionally elusive in this game, particularly. It's itemized well. He has the Force Staff. He's got the Ghost Scepter, and he's always positioned himself in a way that he's not going to get jumped unless they make a concerted effort for him. And God knows they have been making concerted effort, but they just can't seem to hold him down long enough, especially because they have opted to give him the spider legs. I was wondering if they would do that, because I know he's holding onto the telescope originally, but
Yeah, on paper, you would expect a telescope. Smokes might break. Actually, they see DK. No, they don't.
Okay, yep. Well, now
okay.
they do, I would say. And there it is, the BKB. Fireball gets landed over here on the ground. They are holding Constabile here in it for a decent amount of time. Thinks that's done, but he's going to just walk away. And the rest of Unknown, they don't want to be here.
The downside running through river without a ward in the area. When your smoke breaks, you don't realize that there's a hero standing right in front of you. They must have been looking on the map or something because they both reacted
they
pretty
right
slow.
next to them and they just stared at each other for like a half a second.
Yeah, it was pretty slow compared to normal, but they've got the bigger Berserker's Call AoE, a little bit easier to land that at least. But yeah, on the bright side, what happens is DK pops ulti and now it's going to be on cooldown. But Unknown goes for a smoke here. They're going to try to utilize this if possible. It's a big window for DK where he's got tons of extra magic resistance, which is great against Death Prophet and others. But can they get anybody? He's near Roche Pit, but his ulti is ending now. This is the timing SG wants to exploit with that half initiation. They even pop BKB on Axe. They're ready to be careful with their resource usage.
Couple pings coming out here. Look at all the summons and illusions just around this pit, though, trying to ensure they have tabs on them.
It's important. Helps a lot. Invoker's got a lot of gold, 5,000. Wants the Ags, but also wants buyback. Both very important here. And they're going to start on Roche. Their illusions are going to get here. Their summons are going to get here late.
I mean, the nice thing is that RoboZ can be in there in a second because he does have one of those remnants in there. So,
all right,
Scan comes out. Casual arrow tossed out, lands over on Angel. Wish getting into position. They'll send in some of the Manta illusions, trying to get some information. They just see Angel, so they have to suspect that everyone else is positioned in a manner that is going to be supporting and safe here. Tavo popping the Shivas. They'll throw out another tornado. Wish looking again. There's going to be the arrow. A couple of these spins over on the side, but over onto the back lines. They'll find the Olicore. It's a beautiful Winter's Curse as a whole Tavo into place and waste some of this BKB duration. Going to be the Haunt coming out. Angel, though, tossed back here because 40R standing next to KJ will try to keep him alive. And it looks like Angel, they dunk right through it. They take down the Spectre. KJ eventually will fall to RoboZ, but he's going right back in again. Sliding forward here, they'll go. They'll use the Exorcism Sacreds being held into place here. They have plenty of damage. That's a double kill now for Constabile. More buybacks coming out, but it's going to take a while to get over there. And this Exorcism is just chewing through. RoboZ is going to try to get a couple slides off. Can he do it in time? No, it's Constabile. He grabs up that Aegis, grabs up the goodie bag. And they're going to bring the fight right back here to Unknown if they hang around.
It's a big fight win. Mirana died pretty quick at the start of things, but crucial thing was they got Spectre low and they're able to chop him down. And when he actually the most important thing was they happened to land an arrow on Spectre while the fight started. So his haunt comes like 5 seconds later than they expected probably. And then Spectre ends up dying. He has to buy back, but then he TP's destroying because his haunt's gone. So then he's just not impacting the fight quite as severely as you'd expect. So
man.
there's a lot of crazy shit that happened in that fight, let me say. But hey, if Spectre goes down to whatever, then yeah, it's gonna be harder to win your fight. He's pretty vulnerable. He doesn't have BKB. He's queued it up now. He probably just got like, he probably used Manta or something, and then he got Cold Snap, Solar Crested, or Spear Vesseled or something. Like, that's really hard to play through, even on a Spectre.
No. You know what happened? I love this too, actually, is that 4DR was waiting next to KJ because I think he suspected that they're going to go for the haunt. They're always running right at this Oracle, right? Because they know it's so incredibly important. And he was prepared. I believe he hit them with a deafening blast, and I think there was an ice wall that was also followed up. So they just did everything to kind of push them back and slow them. And because of the positioning too, it was very awkward because you had one fight on the high ground, one on the low ground, and one over near the Roche pit.
Yeah, it was very spread for sure.
Very cool. Very cool.
All the SG cores just feel a little bit more independent with BKBs. Feels like when BKB's up, Unknown just doesn't do anything. Ember especially. Ember doesn't do anything against somebody's BKBs. So those first like 7 seconds of the fight, Ember just doesn't feel that useful. Like the best thing he could do is like interrupt Blink Daggers as the fight starts, basically. But we didn't see that either. And now with Refresher Shard on Death Prophet, she's not limited by cooldowns anymore. She's got 2 fights in a row if she wants them.
She is definitely got a lot of possibilities here. And then, of course, we did get the overwhelming blink completed for Costabile. He's got the Abyssal Blade. He's a big, tanky boy right now. So the next fight that's brought to Team Unknown is going to be a particularly scary one. Although we do have the BKB complete for Spectre, but the Abyssal Blade, if that's the target, it's not going to matter. She does have a Nullifier as well, though. But it always feels like the initiation generally is coming out from the side of SG. So I don't know how they try to approach this with an aggressive sort of, do you even try to do an aggressive haunt right now? I don't think you do, right?
It feels difficult to do so for sure. Like the last couple of fights, I don't know, it just feels like Oracle's so squirrely. He just gets away from almost every pressure on him. Maybe it's because they are limited on disable. Like one of the downsides to Ember is that his disable is you can all play against it. Because it's all like soft stuff. You can pop BKB, you can pop items. Their only stuns are Dragonite stun and Nyx stun, and it doesn't feel like enough to secure those kills on the supports on the backline. So Haunt, while it gives vision, it doesn't quite find the opportunities to get the kills that you need. So it makes every engagement feel really hard for Unknown.
Wish wandering through, and there's the overwhelming blink we talked about with the call, and Wish, he gets bashed up though. Can they finish him off? Do they have the nuke damage? It's looking like the Sunstrike comes in. 4DR cleaning up over on Wish, who does have buyback. The assault is being brought to the door right now.
Always the best sound. Try kill. It's queuing up Refresh Orb next, so next time Axe gets a big call on somebody, I see a lot of damage coming from the skies.
Alright, here comes the first exorcism here from Tavo. The way that everybody else is positioned here. They saw the Wyvern in the bottom lane, so they know that he's not there just yet. The Axe illusions are going to work. Wish buying back, wants to be a part of this fight. They don't want to give this up freely. Couple Splinter Blast throw now, trying to clear it up. The silence over onto Sacred. They'll follow up with the Moonlight Shadow. Tavo just zipping around back and forth. Wants to get as much damage with these Exorcism Butterflies as possible so they can take down this Rex. And they'll be able to do it very easily.
Nice. So now they will just sit back and they will not pop Refresher Shard. They're just going to buy time for a bit. Or they could pop it and keep going because they've got Aegis. They've got timings that they could potentially exploit here. But interesting to see how this game has changed phases so much, where SG now feels they're comfortable enough in their advantage to siege. Unknown's still looking for a great opportunity if they can find it. That's why Nyx is always positioned a little bit aggressively. He's looking for these kills, but it's hard for him to find the opportunity, and then his team also has to follow him up with those. But again, their single target damage is just kind of crappy. Yeah, Spectre could jump on a guy and help follow that up, but he's their big damage.
Stabile's gonna find the Wyvern immediately, and she is blown up. They do a buyback. 90 seconds down. They're going after Sacred next. Fireball gets landed. They're trying to get those light chains off. Not gonna be able to quite manage it. Stabile, he's a big boy though. He's running right on in here, managing to drop over that illusionist cape illusion. They just get a couple spins, continue hitting these buildings. Robozy sliding through. Again, they still have that refresher shard if they want to try to pop the exorcism. Feels like they could be for a bit of a bait as they go for Sacred. They'll hold them into place. They'll follow up with the exorcism. And there it is. There's the hunt. The BKB is coming out over on the back end. They want this kill over onto KJ, and they're not going to be able to find us because Typically manages to go get the kill onto Sacred. As he is still just doing so much damage. They've got the exorcism. They're just tearing through the buildings left and right. No DK for 110 seconds now. As Costabile, he's just gonna get healed back up. Wait patiently, they do not have the creep wave here in the bottom lane. But they will have creeps in the base, although Aegis does get reclaimed. Question is, do they still go in on this? They're feeling powerful, I'm guessing. That arrow tossed out, not connecting on anybody. Shivas will get popped by Tavo. Wants to get some of this damage down if possible. That is the end of the exorcism, though. They have to be very careful. They have a little bit of vision. And they don't have the Dragon Knight, but it feels like SG, they want to play it safe. They want them to come to them if they're going to continue with this battle.
Yeah, it's just so much harder for Unknown to start the fights. You could see that from the last couple engagements. Axe Call into Arrow, or Axe Call into Silence, into other follow-up. And if you Haunt right now, they've got Radial Deafening Blast as well. They can just disarm all of these Haunt illusions. And while Spectre has good single-target kill potential, like, they just didn't get enough kills on the supports to make the fights easy leading up until this moment. So now Spectre actually just feels kited. And somehow Axe has 42,000 net worth, which is insane. He's got 7.4k past surplus. Spend your money. Buy an Ags, dude. Eat your Ags. It's good.
He wants the Hyperstone.
Minus 7 armor.
He's going for the Hyperstone so he can get the Moon Shard.
Guess so.
Hiding. Oh, just going to be a little bit off the mark here for Costabile. Does get held into place, plus that Spike Carapace. The arrow gets tossed out, trying to get a little vision off on the side. Costabile waiting patiently, though the dagger comes through. Tavo having to be a little bit careful. They'll finish up that Rax, though, as they throw out the Remnant over here. Robozy thinking about Tavo, going right back in again. Does have the Lotus. Zipping over onto the back lines. He wants KJ, and he keeps going after this Oracle, but he's never able really to get his hands on, as he's forced to go use his own ultimate, which will fall within the bases. Costabile just being allowed to run rampant here as he gets the Abyssal over onto Robozy. We talked about this, but a beautiful curse coming out will be able to blow up Theolacore, protecting Robozy's life for the time being. There is a gem dropped over here on deck.
Yeah, they ditch it.
But Mirana dead for 100 seconds, 84 seconds over on Nyx Assassin. But like you said, Purge, they've got those megas.
And that's one of the hard things about these fights is that even when Ember hits the backline and goes for Oracle, Oracle defends off so easily. He just uses Fate's Edict and Purifying Flames.
Oh my god, they get Angel,
they
get the Sunstrike. They've got so much damage, plus the Meatball. They're going to try to keep him alive, but the magic damage, it's too much. They just erase Angel. There is no buyback now. Over here on the Spectre, they're chasing down Shessid. They have the Exorcism. Tavo, though, over on the back line. You can see the slight forward. They finally managed to get their hands on KJ, but Sacred now is left all alone on this lonely little island. He's a big old dragon, but nobody loves him, and he gets absolutely slaughtered. 3 dead on the side of Unknown, 2 dead on the side of SG. They could go back in here if they wanted to. The Mirana and the Oracle being dead is a sad thing, but they are still so powerful. Look at this. They find Robozy, the overwhelming blink again, and they get these spins off. They need a little bit more damage, though, if they want to take down this Ember, and by God, they have it. 4DR over here with that BKB. We'll use another Radio Deafening Blast. They're going to buy back. They want this kill on 4DR. They have the vision, but the kill's coming through. Is it going to be enough? Can they get the kill? 4DR trying to juke around, but eventually they will be able to find him. And now Costabile, he's just going to spin around in circles. The rest of his team is not alive any longer, so he eventually goes down. But there are a lot of creeps here in the space. They are attacking Shessid. Shessid is not prepared to deal with these, so the rest of Unknown, they've got to lend a hand.
It took some doing, but they finally kill their opponents. They put everything chasing after Invoker, and once Invoker was killed, they had didn't have to worry about as much disable, and they were able to work down Axe as well. But with that said, Axe ran out of mana a long time ago, and I can't help but think that it would have been different if he hadn't ran out of mana. He is buying his Ags now. He's got 10,000 gold on Axe, 6,500 surplus. You don't get much more farm than this. The only thing you can buy after this is what? Boots of Travel level 2, basically. And then he's all done with his items. So But with that said, Roche is up.
Ooh.
Ag Scepter Blessing and Refresher Shard, but Unknown has a lot of pushing to do. They got 45 seconds. We'll see if SG buys back for this, if they're aware of it.
There's a Divine on Robo-Z now. It has hit that point.
Good. Great choice. He bought the Deso as well to give him physical damage, but with the Divine Rapier as well, he can absolutely
Chesed at
kill
home.
Oracle.
They left Chesed at home to deal with these creeps, and he's struggling. Arrow lands over onto Sacred. They know he's there. Robo-Z immediately trying to find anyone. Does manage to slide over onto Theolacor.
They're going to let him get it, it looks like. I mean, they're playing in the area, but it's taking time to set up, and they can't run into this.
No,
So
they
dangerous.
can't. Well, apparently Tavo was thinking that he wants to go in there. He's got the Exorcism. So
Refreshes for BKB for
Refreshes
safety.
for the BKB, like you said. Over on the side, though, Theolacor, he's got the save coming out from KJ. KJ has to be careful, does have those spider legs. They'll use the Moonlight Shadow. They'll go right back in again. Tavo looking for this opening. Will be able to go find himself Angel. The EMP's got to get dropped. Robo-Z over on the back line, so a little bit of a slow over onto Angel. Kusabile, though, going forward, just going to be able to take out Wish as they get the Deafening Blast off over on the side. The BKB over on Tavo. These ghosts, they're doing a lot of damage. Can they take down Angel
God.
again? Yes, that's going to be the first death. Sacred, though, over here on the side. Getting kited here by Tavo. Will eventually run out of the Dragon Form. He's next to fall right into the arms of Kusabile. He's going to be able to go get the follow, followed up with that great big Sunstrike. BKB coming out from 40 yards. They go for the Haunt. They're going to try to chase down KJ. They should be able to get the Oracle this time around. Another buyback coming out. The spins are coming out. Are they going to be able to take down Robo-Z?
They got him.
There's a triple kill. And the chase is on Angel. They call GG. They know that they cannot win this with the rest of the team all being dead without buyback.
Oh, what a game, dude. 57-minute absolute slugfest. SG Esports takes it with the axe carry. They played so good in their mid game, covering each other with the Oracle, with their disables, and they pull out the win finally, making Spectre just look like the average carry that she is not. She's really strong. Be scared.
She is indeed very strong, but unfortunately not strong enough by herself to try to withstand what SG had brought to the table. You know, for me, MVP goes out to KJ. The way that he danced around everybody, getting those saves off, getting off, you know, just all of his spells and leading them on a long merry chase. Just incredible. But I know, I personally need a moment to breathe, guys, after all of those fights. I'm sure Purge would like to take a moment too. So we are going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to break down game number 3.